Welcome back to the Pink Hoodie Podcast. I'm here with my good friend. We've known each other for like four years, probably.
Yeah, it's almost 3.
3?
Yeah.
It's almost 3 years then. Give it up for the very funny comic, Matt Blank, everybody.
That's what I'm used to at the open mics, you know. Give it up and then there's no sound. Thanks for having me, buddy. I'm excited.
There's no sound because it's
I know.
Us.
I just thought you'd have a crowd that would cheer me on.
My dog was wanting to watch.
She was nice. You could put some crowd noise in the
True.
background.
I do have the ability to make noises in post.
Good.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Excited to be here.
Yeah. Do you like the couches? I bought these couches with my own money.
Did you really?
$50 each.
Nice. Is it leather?
No.
No.
I don't know what this is. It might.
Suede?
It's like.
Feels like suede.
Yeah, I think it's suede.
Fake suede.
It's like the shoes, like the material that Converse shoes are made out of.
Oh, really?
Suede. Like your shoes. That's
Oh,
suede.
yeah, right.
I
This is
think
suede.
that's suede.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's fancy.
Anyway.
This house is 6 times bigger than my house. I know it's not yours, so
That's
I'm
not
not
mine. We did
giving you
redid
credit
it.
for it. But
We redid it. My dad's about to retire.
good for him.
He's mad old. Good for
What's
him.
it? Does he have a job outside of the Christian books?
Yeah.
Like he's had a career outside
Yeah.
of that. That's not where he made his.
Not fortunate. No, he's a guidance counselor.
Word. Right here at this high school?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's in Reading.
Oh, cool.
Reading
Okay.
Area School District.
Nice.
He has one more month and he'll be done.
He'll be done. No kidding. Good for him.
Forever. Yeah.
God
My
damn.
mom has like
Lucky
2 more
bastard.
years of being a teacher's aide.
Teacher's aide.
Yeah.
Man.
So I have like 1 more month of like somewhat freedom.
Yeah.
And then my dad's just going to be here 24/7.
Oh, my God.
And then I'm going to have to,
You're going to be like bosom buddies.
yeah, I'm going to get cabin fever and like
Hell yeah, dude.
kill the whole family like in The Shining.
You might want to skip that part, but
I'll probably
maybe just
bleep that out.
look into. Yeah, I didn't mean bleep it out. I just meant don't actually do it, and
No, I
then
won't do
maybe start looking for an apartment.
Yeah.
Maybe you could. I don't mean shack up with someone, find a roommate type person.
I was going to roommate with Andrew Brooks actually. 'Cause
Okay.
He just moved out, but
Okay.
I don't have enough money. And I just
Okay.
lost my job
That's not a good start.
recently. So
That renewal. I guess I can't say that.
no, you can say that. Actually, no, it was a bless you. It was a different place.
Oh my!
Bless
I'm
you.
allergic to good times, buddy.
It was a more recent place.
Okay. Anyway, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, obviously, a job's going to be key to affording a place. Mm-hmm. I'm in a much different stage in life, but I'm still broke.
You have children.
I have children.
How many
I have a
children
mortgage.
do you have?
2 children.
2 children?
Yep.
Nice.
7 and 4.
Boy and girl.
Boy and boy.
Boy and boy.
Yeah, man.
B&B.
B&B, just a straight boys only. Boys club.
That's what, I have a brother and it's just me and him.
Yeah.
So the same
Yeah.
lineup.
I don't, it's like I know so many people in my age group, friend group that have kids, and it seems like so many had either 2 boys or 2 girls, but very few had a one of each. So I don't know if there's something in the fucking water these days or what.
Yeah. Flint, Michigan.
All the hormones and they put in the food.
Yeah. The water's making the frogs gay.
Ribbit. Yep. That water.
Are they close? I'm not close with my brother.
Well, they're young, but they hate each other for the most part. I don't know. It's constant ebb and flow with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the older one obviously runs the roost. So like anytime if he's not feeling it, then he's just an asshole to his brother. The younger one adores him and like would play with him all the time, but it's more like if the older one thinks he's too cool or not. Sometimes he does. Sometimes they'll play great and then other times, he won't want to, or he'll want to do something where, if he wants to play baseball, the other one can't really keep up. So I don't know. It's weird. I was a single child and then my parents were divorced. And then my dad remarried, but might have been like 12 or 13. And then I have a stepbrother, but I lived a long time, my formative years as an only child. So seeing I don't know how brothers are supposed to act.
Yeah.
Especially at that age.
They're supposed to like each other and then really hate each other.
Okay.
So I think
hopefully eventually they like each other. That's most.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about long term.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want them to hate each other now, but they're still young.
Yeah.
I think the younger one's going to end up bigger and kick the older one's ass eventually. And I tell him, not in so many words, but I say, you better watch out because I think, like, my son, the oldest is built, looks like my twin. Mm-hmm. But then the youngest takes on more from, like, my wife's side, like her dad, who's not as tall as you, but taller than me. And mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm projecting he's going to be a bruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually was bigger than my brother. Like,
Okay.
he used to, like, wail on me.
Yeah, right. And then did the tides turn?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, he just, like, stopped.
Because he knew you'd get to the point where you could kick his ass.
I can't kick very many people's asses, I don't think, but I can kick my brother.
Right,
That's
there you
all
go.
that matters.
Yeah. At the end of the day.
And my dad, well, he's, like, old now.
Yeah, that would be sad.
That'd
to
be
watch
sad.
You beat on your dad.
I would never beat up my dad.
There's a weird shift there because there's a time where you definitely can't take him, and then by the time you can, same way with my dad's like
it's like a rapid
older,
decline
getting frail. Yeah, it's like what a horrible person I would be to kick his ass now.
No,
just to prove that I can.
You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, right. I love you, Dad, but
I can't
40 years coming.
Whoop you.
I'm gonna take your ass down.
So how have you been?
Pretty good, man. I'm just staying busy. I mean, family life is encompassing. Takes a lot of time. So that's so much going on. I'm coaching my son. My 7-year-old plays baseball, so I coach that, which is fun, super fun. I dig it, but it's
Exhausting.
It's busy. It can be. It's fun, but at the end of the like yesterday we had practice Friday nights. We have it, and we were there till like, I don't know, 7:30 or 7:45. And then, I don't know, I'm not going to complain about it. Anyway, I sign up to coach, so it's not, but I love it, but it takes a lot of time. But so I just try to, I've been trying to hit 3 open mics a week, but it's 2 to 3. It's super convenient living in Millersville and Phantom Power. I can, walk to. So not that I go every week, but it's certainly like, I don't know. I could go after the kids go to bed. I can walk down. It's like I'm not using up like a dad only night.
Yeah. You're like, honey, it's right there.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. My wife's very cool considering I do a good bit.
That's good.
Of comedy things,
How is? I don't think I've met your wife.
Oh, you haven't?
I don't think so.
She's come to a couple shows. I think you might have randomly out of like one of the early Phantom Power showcases we came down for.
Okay.
But anyway, it doesn't matter.
I might have been on drugs.
Yeah, good point.
If I was, so if I don't remember, I apologize.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't even remember. I'm assuming it goes in spurts. Like,
what's her name?
Leah.
Leah.
Like today, like I said, that we're going to watch the game. I didn't realize we were going to go so early. So like I think was a little like miffed, like we're going at 2. I'm like, well, I didn't know we were going at 2 until the other day, So that there's times with, at least from the comedy perspective, where it just is like, man, I wish I had nothing going on and I could just dive into it. But then there's struggles with that too.
True.
And
I have nothing going on, and
it's easier said than done.
Into it.
Well, that's what I mean. It's easier said than done. And being in my situation, in some ways, it helps me utilize my time better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I have these other responsibilities, and so it's like I got to make some of this stuff count. You know what I mean? Not that I always do it, but that's to try the way I try to look at it. Like it's not just a hobby. And sometimes I take it too seriously, and then I get all bummed. I remember like Phantom Power. I had a heart-to-heart, and you were listening to it. I don't know. That doesn't make it real heart-to-heart, but I took. You know what I mean? Like I'm sensitive about it, and it hurts when it doesn't go well. So
yeah,
I was pouring my heart out. It's funny that like a 38-year-old man's like talking to like I don't know. You might have been 21 at the time.
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
No problem.
No, it's nice to. Sometimes you just gotta let it all out, I guess.
I feel like I'm a pretty good like listener for my age.
You did you listened very well. I appreciate it because I don't know, and it's one of those things that's like nice to talk to someone that understands in a sense, And I was early on in it, so I didn't have many people I really had no one. You know what I mean? I only knew a couple of you guys, so yeah. That was back when we were outside in the summer.
Oh yeah. Then it got cold and we were burning those trash cans.
Barrels, yeah.
That was fun. Oh, I kind of hated outside shows.
It sucks so bad, but like I do have some nostalgia for it because I did do an open mic in 2018. I went to Chameleon. It was upstairs, but I had played music for a long time, and at that time I was still busy with music. But the open mic did kick my ass. I mean, definitely. So between it kicking my ass and having the music stuff, it was like I didn't have time to like dive into trying to do comedy really, but so basically when they started outside at Phantom Power, that's when I really was like, I wasn't really doing music. I'm like, they starting it down the street. Like if I'm ever going to do it, now's the time. So like I said, there's a bit of a nostalgia for me there, even though it fucking sucks. Yeah. Comedy outside it's rough. It's very brutal. Especially open mic. I mean, you know, like
people just sitting there in the cold. Just
listening. Right. Like hating. Yeah, you're like, what am I doing with my life? Like,
and then you're up there shivering.
Yeah, and seeing your breath.
Fuck.
Oh man. So yeah, I think the pain. I have like a rosier view of it than it was, but
rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, I did learn a lot. So that was cool. You know, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm just going to try to find the positive, but
yeah,
comedy outside sucks. I will say doing the one, if you know who Thomas Johnson is up in Harrisburg, I did one outside with him or whatever. But that's a black show. So there's just the crowd, like you can hear people. You don't hear the fucking planes, you know. Yeah. Open mic was just like, the coolest part of open mic was, remember they used to have those little cats that would come and like, oh, look at the cats. That was the best part. And sometime, maybe if you're lucky, you could riff a couple cat jokes.
Yeah. Like, oh, look at this pussy.
Yeah, I literally made that.
Yeah.
It's pretty much that joke. I think everyone did, but hack shit.
It's fine to be hacked sometimes.
You gotta do it. If anyone laughs, I'll take a laugh. I'll be hacky as fuck.
Yeah.
If you're on stage and people are laughing, like, you soak it in. Just like, no matter how you're much, and you're like, they shouldn't be laughing at me right now. This isn't very good.
Yeah. I get like in my head, like if something's like I think too hacky, I just like won't like write about it. But I feel like I've like missed the opportunity to write like good jokes.
Yeah. But it's hard sometimes.
I get too in like my head about like, oh, someone said something similar to this before.
Is it? Yeah, I hear you.
And I like Google it, and it's like,
it's hard to tell.
Joke about.
Yeah, I've done that.
Weed suppositories in your ass. Bit.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I listen, like, being older. I mean, I like all the new up and comer whatever comics too, but I still go back to the well of like what I was listening to when I was, you know, your age or when I was a teenager and stuff. So Dave Attell all the time, and I don't know, whoever, Mitch Hedberg or whatever it is, but going back and listening, or Chris Rock even, or Louis C.K. or whoever it is, like you listen to their stuff from 15, 20 years ago, and it's just like they're covering topics that are covered. So it's like trying to find, I think, that line of like, you don't want to do with their exact bit, but you know, everyone's going to be making joke. Like, can you come up with a funny slant on the topic? I guess, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because like it's hard. Like I joke about the kids, right? You know, that's obviously pretty much my whole freaking act. But at some open mics, I swear, I went to Church of Satire, and like 4 people, including myself, were like, "Well, I have 2 kids." You know what I mean? It's just like, fuck. Well, that's my whole act. You know what I mean? It's not like one topic. It's like literally. So it's like sometimes I want to abandon everything, but it works. I don't want to do it. I don't know. Like I said, there's a weird line of like, am I totally ripping this off? Is the topic so stupid that everyone's thought of it?
Yeah.
Or does this stuff make me laugh and I actually think it's funny?
No, I feel you.
I don't know.
I've thought about that, like, with like jokes about like rehab and shit. Like John Mulaney's special just came out, and I was like, oh fuck, I didn't know. Hopefully he won't say my salad dressing rehab joke. He didn't, but like,
oh, good. Thank
I was like,
I know you're worried about it.
I was worried
because once he puts it into the atmosphere,
the ether,
you can't do it anymore.
But mine technically was in the ether before.
I guarantee you, there's so many, but once someone puts it out like that, you're fucked.
Yeah.
There was definitely a Chris Rock.
Luckily, my jokes aren't as good as John Mulaney, so he didn't take any of mine.
That's not true. There's some, like, I was listening to this Chris Rock, his, like, first CD was in, like, 1990, and he makes a joke about, like, I took my AIDS test, got a 81 or whatever, and there's still, like, you go to the Comedy Zone, you're going to hear that joke, like, 3 times a night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not knocking anybody, it's just, like, in my head, now that I heard it, I had heard people say it before, and then I hear this, it's like, you know.
We should be telling people, right, if their bits are, like, stolen.
I guess. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like I've heard those people. I've laughed at other people say it, like, because I had no idea. I thought it was theirs, and I don't know that they consciously. Like, if you start to think about it, maybe that's one of those, like, parallel thinking things where, or maybe it's subconscious, you know. But I don't know that they literally were like, you know, listen to Chris Rock, and then that night we're like, I'm using that joke. More so, like, I don't know. It's hard. You want to think someone's coming at it with a pure intention. At least. That's like the only code, really, of comedy is, like, are you trying not to steal?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't steal, but I mean, I guess number 2 is, like, are you literally trying to be original and not, like, just totally telling somebody else's jokes? Mm-hmm. Which makes it so hard, because you got to spend so much time dying to find a fucking nugget.
And then, I died last week at Phantom. It was not good.
I die at Phantom 99% of the time.
It was like older people, and, like, I feel like the young children like my stuff better than
it's the exact people. Opposite for me.
Yeah.
When it's like the college kids and there's such a good energy, and then I get up there and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. Like, hello, kids. Hello, kids. I just can't relate. You think you can, but you can't. Like, all the things I did at that age aren't cool anymore. Sadly.
Like what?
Drinking and drugging. I think they do. And I don't think it should be cool.
People love it. Have you seen Euphoria? It's like,
well, not the people showing up at Phantom Power. The college kids they don't seem
those kids
quite as hardcore.
No,
they seem more of the theater-y type. I'm not saying there's a right or wrong. I just mean, you know, it's cool. Like, people don't drink now, and it's like, it can be cool. It wasn't cool 20 years ago. Back in my day.
Not drinking wasn't cool?
Yeah.
20 years ago?
No, you're like, well, who's this nerd? What's wrong with him?
Thank God I'm sober now.
Yeah, good for you. And I'm not trying to glamorize it. It's 20 just years different.
Ago. No, I meant, like, time period wise.
Yeah, it would be very hard to fit in.
People would be like, gay?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Even gay people would be like, gay? Oh, man. It'd be hard to fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's like, it's cool. I mean, I dig it. It's just, I feel like an idiot making drinking and driving jokes to a bunch of, like, 19-year-old kids who have grown up thinking that's a terrible thing to do.
I think that's funny, but I'm also, like, demented.
Yeah, right. You're more deranged than the typical.
Yeah.
That's all right. I appreciate you, bud. That's why I can be here and talk to you.
Yeah.
Freely.
I'm like a non-judgmental, demented person.
You'll at least listen with an open heart, an open mind.
I don't think I'm judgmental
That's all you
at
can
all.
Answer. No, I don't think so. It's more so, I think, the crowds, the different places kind of just in general bring in different crowds, and some places seem to have, or, you know, some crowds, I guess, not some places, but, you know, sometimes the crowd seems more judgmental than others.
Yeah.
Even, like, from week to week, you might say the same joke and I don't know. And maybe it's how you set it up, but there's definitely times where, I don't mean you in particular, I mean, you know, in general. Mm-hmm. I've definitely had that, where I've, like, said a joke, and then there's, like, quiet cringy, and then a week later or 2 weeks later, it doesn't kill, but, you know what I mean? It seems like people actually, like, will at least let you joke about something. I don't know.
Yeah.
The crowd's so integral, but blaming the crowd is, like, such a mistake, because people, I think, use that as a crutch. Not that the crowd isn't.
Sometimes the crowd is.
I think I'm not disagreeing there. I think the crowd is definitely to blame sometimes. I try to take the crowd out of it every time, and just be like, what can I do better? Mm-hmm. Because there's certain people that, like, kill every crowd, it seems.
Yeah.
So getting to that point, which is very difficult,
I feel like there's some people in like the crowd who are like moral, like grandstanding, and if you bring up a subject that's
they won't.
No.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know. I don't think comedians should be writing towards the thing that's like the most moral or whatever.
No way.
I think it should be the most funny.
I agree 100%. Yeah, I mean, what is funny to you may be me, the moral side of it.
Yeah.
So that's okay. But yeah, going for that, like if you're trying to win over the audience, you're missing the whole point. Yeah. Like if your whole thing is like, this audience is going to love me because I'm this, that's bullshit.
Here's a quote from Bill Cosby.
Oh my, okay.
He said, if you're trying to please everybody, you're pleasing nobody.
Right. There you go. It's pretty easy for him to say
then
he's
he
the biggest comic in the
people
world. Yeah, right. And then use his power.
He's like, I'm not trying to please everyone.
Yeah, right.
I'm trying to please myself.
Yeah. With your blacked out mouth.
Body, yeah.
Body. Well,
he should be in jail.
He was for a minute, wasn't he?
Yeah, he got out though.
Yeah, he's going to go on a tour, isn't he?
He said that. I don't know if he's going to.
That would be an interesting tour.
Would you go to the Cosby tour?
I don't know. I mean, I've never. I liked the show when I was a kid, I guess, but I can't say I'm really familiar with his comedy. I guess I probably wouldn't, because unless he came to like Lancaster, which he wouldn't. Like I wouldn't want to put in the effort. In my head, saying right now, it'd be like, the spectacle would be amazing, but like when I think it through, like the effort and the money and the time it would take to actually go and do it, I wouldn't do it. I don't care that much. But to like a live, like that Chris Rock thing, if they did like a
Bill Cosby
live, dude, I would
selective outrage.
Yeah, I would absolutely.
The same name
same name. Same jokes. I would absolutely watch that. Like, I would set up the night like, hey, this is what we're doing tonight, 8:00. Kids are in bed or whatever. Yeah. That would be great.
What if he came to Phantom Power?
Then I would be there.
We would be obliged to go.
I would have to. You would have to go then. I couldn't miss it in my own backyard.
Phantom.
Yeah, exactly. Have to support Phantom, but also it's like I could walk. Like it could be 10 minutes before his set, I could just walk down. Yeah. That'd be cool. Well, if Greg listens, he should try to get Cosby. Or who books I guess T's more integral in the comedy side of the booking there.
I don't know. I think so.
Anyway.
I don't think T would go for Cosby.
No, I doubt it. I don't think Cosby would go for Phantom Power. No. Maybe like the tour starts in big places and it
dwindles down.
It dwindles down because less people come, and then he ends up like on Phantom Power.
He's like, I was off Broadway, the Hershey Theater,
but they won't have
me.
They
say it's problematic, so I'm going to Phantom Power.
Yeah, they said I'm a bit of an issue. That'd be funny.
I want to go on the record. Rape is bad.
Very, very much.
Bill Cosby's a bad person.
Terrible person.
We're just joking about horrible things.
That's why we're the best.
So why did you...
That's why people are listening still.
I hope so.
How far are we in? Half hour? Did we make it?
I mean, like, to this podcast.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I mean
as
now.
A whole. As a whole podcast.
Just the first 20 minutes, and then they're down there.
No, I meant, like, all the episodes. I'm surprised people still listen after, like, 40 episodes. Thank you for listening.
Smash that like button.
Oh, yeah. This will be on YouTube. The audio.
Can you do like AI or us talking?
I probably could, but I don't know how to do that.
That'd be cool. But I have no idea how to do it either. That's cool.
So what made you want to do comedy?
So I always liked and wanted, the idea of doing comedy anyway. I always did dumb shit, and sketches and movies stuff with friends even in high school and stuff. So comedy in general was in my world, and I always, loved it. But when I got to college, I played sports mainly in high school, and then when I went to college, I wasn't playing sports anymore. So I got into music. So I guess there was a time I was really into music too, So I started playing the drums then. But anyway, that carried me through. But I have I don't have a bucket list of places to go. I have more of like art projects I wanted to do. And some of it was like older stuff with my band or bands at the time, like trying to spread the word and things like that.
But
Jesus. Once stand up, yeah, it's just about Jesus. Those commercials are funny. He Gets Us. Do you watch those commercials?
I used to. The first one I saw, I was like, this is good Jesus advertising. Yeah. And then it got annoying after a while. I was like, all right.
Does Jesus really need ads? Or I guess people really leaving Jesus and that's what they're trying to capture? Or are they just...
Are they wooding Jesus?
Are they? Well, I mean, are they trying to bring people back to the church or engage again? Because I know people like each generation kind of probably the church lessens the power of the local church anyway, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird to see ads for Jesus on TV.
Yeah.
Not a specific church.
It's like He Gets Us, and there's like a black baby and a white baby hugging. And I'm like, okay.
Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, they were just, I mean, it's fine. I have no problem with them having commercials for him or anything. It's just weird to see. Because it's all serious, and it's like it's like, what is this about?
It's like a civil rights advertisement.
Yeah, right. It really is. Yeah. It's just a weird vibe for the tone is weird, I guess.
It's better than the rapey, touching children tone.
Yeah. I guess that's what they're trying to win them back.
Protestantism and Catholicism.
Yeah. Very true. They're changing the narrative. You're right, though. It has that civil rights feel. Yeah, it really does. It's like they judge Jesus, too. That was one of them, isn't it?
Judge Jesus?
They did.
What? Like Judge Judy?
They judge Jesus is what the commercial says. But I like that. Judge Jesus. That's my podcast right there. I just
Judge Jesus.
That's good. Can I quote that?
He can multiply his gavels.
I'll go through all of the issues of the day, and then we'll go to someone will play Jesus, Judge Jesus, and then he'll make his final judgment on the matter. I mean, I'm spitballing here. I'm spitballing.
And on your soul at the very end.
Yeah. And then we'll eat his body live on air.
And drink his blood. Mm-hmm. That's in the Patreon, though.
Yeah, right? It's going to cost you $6.99 a month.
Mm-hmm. Or 10% of your income.
Whoa.
Tithing.
Okay. That would be way better.
I could retire. Did you grow up religious?
No.
Okay.
My dad grew up Jewish. He's from Jersey. Mm-hmm. And then he never stuck with it. But he was raised, Jewish and bar mitzvahed and all that. But then, when he was he rejected it when he was 16 or 17 or whatever.
Sorry, my parents just got back. Yeah. That's what I was looking.
They
can't hear us.
Okay, good. I don't want to hear me talk about Jesus. It's not being projected through the whole house or a sound system.
That'd be funny if they
did. That would be so funny, but I don't think they would like the Judge Jesus aspect of the convo.
No.
Anyway, and then my mom was raised Catholic in Lancaster, and then my dad moved here to go to a 2-year technical. He's a carpenter, and then that's how they met. Yada yada. So he wasn't he never was religious, and then my mom. Catholics are pretty subdued, but my mom's the black sheep of her family anyway, so she has a weird, I'm sure, relationship with that religion shit. But it was never anything that was talked about between my parents and me, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Nothing like that. And then my mom split, and then I was 6 with my dad, so pretty young. And then he was he just never talked about it. It wasn't he's an atheist now or anything like that. It's just literally not a part of our lives. Yeah, his life. So then it just was never a part of my life.
Yeah.
So it's all especially for around here, it's a bit of a different spin. Most people growing up were obviously Christian. Then I went to Penn Manor High School. You know what I mean? It wasn't. So I was a bit of an outlier that way.
Nice.
But yeah. Anyway, that's it. But it's just different because I could see from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Is it's just different from how you must. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
How you were raised.
It was weird.
It was the centerpiece of your kind of existence. I'm assuming.
Yeah, that was my whole identity.
Yeah, exactly.
Until,
my whole identity was sports. You know what I mean? Which not that that's healthier necessarily because they go away.
No, it's probably healthier.
In some ways, I think it was. Yeah. At least it was healthy in the exercise aspect.
If you stop believing in basketball, you're not going to have like a who am I?
Yeah, right. Maybe. Existential crisis.
You might have one, but
that happens when you can't play basketball anymore. That's where it becomes, if your whole identity. It didn't really happen to me with sports. Like I was playing through high school and then I went to Penn State. I wasn't going to play sports at Penn State. I wasn't that good, Mm-hmm. But it did happen to me with my first band I played in. First quote unquote like real band, because we were doing it and at least I certainly had the desire for it to happen and be a full-time thing. Mm-hmm. We never were even sniffing that being a possibility, but we did tour around a little bit, you know what I mean? But anyway, it became that band became my whole identity because I worked at another job and I didn't like the job and yada yada. I was just like pouring everything into that.
Yeah.
So when it came to an end, I did have a bit of I felt like, well, now what am I going to do? I'll never have that again, yada yada. I had to do some searching of finding the confidence because it takes a lot of time. But then you're talking, it was, I don't know, 6-7 years, like I said. So it was, I was fully invested. So I had a little while there was depressed about it, I guess. I don't know. Not sulking, but well, there goes my chance at doing art, even though it's not about making money. It's about
expressing yourself, creativity, so you'll get laid.
Yeah, right. It's just being a drummer is a little different because of the fact I'm not writing songs. So to break up with a group where there's people writing songs and stuff, you know what I mean? It's what am I going to do? I'm going to write them myself.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do.
Yeah.
I should have turned to Jesus.
Maybe. I don't know.
I did have a soul-searching moments with that stuff, too. I consider myself agnostic, which you could say is a fucking easy-ass answer, but...
No, that's fine.
I don't know. I tend myself more towards, Buddhism internal aspect, but that's not really about a God.
Yeah.
It's more about an internal thing. But at the end of the day, I could see how what they're all trying to teach is the same, and I think there's more to life than just
sex and
going to work and bullshit like that.
Sex and work.
Yeah, I don't know that say that that's I think there's more. I've taken enough psychedelic drugs to think that there's more going on. But that being said, I don't think it's not. The Bible's not right. Yeah. You know what I mean? In the sense that it didn't literally happen. It's a guidepost for you to. The kingdom of heaven is within, my friend.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. The
kingdom of heaven is now, and men do not see it.
Yes. There you go.
I
know way more about that stuff.
I kind of
the details.
Definitely believe in a higher power after I did mushrooms.
That's what I mean. It does connect you to something that's beyond yourself.
Yeah. It's not.
But
just
it also
me,
But it also transcends just the sages have meant. Wait. I don't know. I can't. There's some famous thing that I had, but I'll never remember. It wasn't Bill Cosby either. But it was basically, they all different cultures have a different name for it, but there's something deeper that connects. It's not Allah, it's not God as written. You know what I mean? But they're all trying to put that idea into words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think they see the same thing. It's just they have their own culture spin on it. Mm-hmm. That's the
different
hippy dippy agnostic.
I've thought about that too.
Yeah.
All paths up the same mountain sort of thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So that's heady stuff. But anyway, like I said, I could see why people do it. It's just it sucks for someone. It was nice for me because I could read about the different things and explore the different religions from the outside looking in. Not that I was going to become a Hindu or something, but you know what I mean? I had no preconceived notions about what any of the stuff really was about, and or it's even reading things about the Bible and stuff like that. There's awesome things in there that can help you in your life.
Yeah.
When you start living in it's a fairy tale, that's truly gonna, it's literally happened, then that might be an issue, but
yeah,
that's where I don't agree
with
are
fundamentalists. I believe everything happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly like it happened.
Exactly as written. Yeah.
I'm
so that's where it makes it hard to connect with someone.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't agree with them in some ways. It's just I don't think that's the literal story that how you're explaining is literally what happened.
Because the dinosaurs.
That one's the hardest part to look past when they're like,
yeah,
dinosaurs didn't happen. You've seen the coloring book picture of like Jesus riding dinosaurs. Have you seen those before?
I have, yeah.
Oh man.
I think there was like a Simpsons episode where like God let like the devil like hide bones and like so they would like not believe in him.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
God, that's funny. Anyway, I don't
know. I believe in a higher power, but like I don't.
Agreed. Yeah,
I'm not like a preachy guy. Like I don't give a shit.
And there's people that like that are Christian, you know, that you can talk to about it and aren't just like super judgmental, fundamentalists, whatever. You know what I mean?
I think
there's more open-minded
like
people.
That.
Who?
I think my therapist is kind of like that. She's like a open, very liberal Christian lady.
Yeah,
but she won't like admit that she's Christian. She's very secret,
new agey.
There's
a bunch of like everyone I pretty much went to high school. You know what I mean? Like it's more diverse now, but especially Penn Manor in the '90s and 2000s. You know what I mean? It was just all of the southern end of Lancaster County Christian people.
Yeah.
But like going to church was like the cool thing for. I can remember
the cool thing
in like 10th grade. There became like this 10th, 11th grade. There, the one guy's dad was a very charismatic preacher guy. Well, he started this church, and then like all the kids from school started going to that church.
Interesting.
And it became, I don't want to say it was like every person go, but like the most popular people for the most part were like this group that was like went to that church, you know, every week. And it was like, it was a weird, and like, that was certainly not a group I was going to fit into. Now I already had my friends and stuff, and that wasn't part of that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like we were considered nerds because we didn't go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Look at these nerds not
going to church. But
Fucking
there was
nerds.
like a big, like the biggest culture of probably the people that were considered the most popular were this church going crew.
Interesting.
Whereas like I was more of like the jackass teenager football player. You know, I don't know.
Like Jackass the show, Jackass?
Not so much, but smashing pumpkins and mailboxes and eggs and dumb shit that I'm not necessarily proud of now because I don't want my kids to do that shit.
Yeah.
I understand now that I have my own property, I understand how fucking shitty that is. But dumb shit like that, yeah.
That's fun, though.
So we were more of the counterculture, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was just weird. Like, it wasn't just like, hey, everyone on the basketball or soccer teams are cool. It was like, hey, everyone that goes to this church is cool.
Interesting.
It was weird, yeah. Like I said, especially someone that did not, like, I didn't fit into that at all because it wasn't like I was just going to start going to church.
Yeah.
You know, maybe some people did, but that wasn't where I was at.
Yeah.
We were like, hey, I'm going to not
they like
wreak havoc at my, you know what I mean? Like sleep over at my buddies and take 2 old Milwaukees out of his dad's fridge to chug down. We'd do dumb shit.
DMT.
I didn't. Yeah.
Have you ever smoked DMT?
Yes, I have.
How was that?
Not way back then.
Tell us about your DMT experience.
It's amazing. It really is. I have some
Rogan experience.
I will say this. Allegedly, I have some in a cart I got, and
right now,
not with me here, but allegedly on my premises at home.
Wow.
I allegedly have some.
That's cool.
So maybe we could try it sometime. But it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
It's
maybe once I move out, I'll do DMT with you.
Yeah. Well, it really is. Like, I try to. You can't explain it, obviously, but you know, there's airplanes that like go up real fast in the atmosphere and then shoot down, and you get like 2 minutes of weightlessness. Do you ever see that kind of thing?
Like the pilot gets 2 minutes of
No, the people in the back are hooked in, but they to simulate what it's like going into outer space.
Okay.
They'll do this thing where a airplane goes up really high and then it shoots down, and because the atmosphere changes enough between like how high it goes and at a certain point, we could find a video. It's not so important, but most people know what I'm talking about. Basically, they simulate weightlessness, but you go up really fast and you come down really fast.
Okay.
So it's like 15 minutes, but you like are tripping your phone. I mean, you're gone, but you're back to better, but you're back to normal within like 10, 15 minutes.
Are there like...
It's really hard to explain, like I said, without that. But like when you would say like taking acid is like going to outer space, you know?
Yeah.
You don't necessarily I don't know, trip as hard, or it's like
as acid.
I never. No, DMT. I've tripped harder on DMT than anything.
Okay.
Maybe mushrooms, but my point is, it's hard to explain without you doing it. But it's very fast. You go up really high, you get fucking high as fuck.
Are there examples of people not coming back?
I'm sure there are, but there's examples of that with every psychedelic drug. So I don't know. Yeah. Not anyone I know, but I don't know that everyone loves it. And I think sometimes what will happen is like you'll be nervous, and luckily you don't drink, but people will get drunk.
Yeah.
And then try to do it, but then they'll like throw up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that they don't come back, but it's not an enjoyable experience when you like take a drag and then you barf and then you're tripping your balls off. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's impossible to explain. But the fact that how quick it lasts, like you talk about a reset, like resets your mind, you know?
Yeah.
Like you could, you know, within half an hour, you could be like completely reset your mind. It would be the best thing. Like if once a week you had a little ritual where you're like, Sundays at 12 to 1:30 where
DMT.
Yeah.
DMT
and then you come out of it like your mind's so clear.
Really? I don't think my mind's been clear since I was like 17.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, right. And there's other things at play.
Yeah.
But like as I know as someone who's, well, you've tripped really hard on mushrooms. I know this.
Yeah.
Allegedly. So
just the one time.
Anyway, if you took a snippet of that, which is hard to do, but if you a snippet of that, it's kind of what you're going to have, but it's not like that. At least for me, it was never that like, this is never going to go away. This is me now. This is terrible. I hate, you know, and your mind divides.
You never felt that?
Not with the DMT.
Nice.
Like I've been a little nervous for sure, but like you're just like immersed in it, and it's really beautiful experience. And then, I don't know, then your mind starts to come back to you and you're like, wow. But you're still, you know what I mean? Like it's really like a quick blip, but it's really high peak for sure.
It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. That's another way
that goes
to put
straight
it.
down.
Yeah.
Like the airplane.
Boom. And you blast. I mean, once you're like, you hold as long as you can, right? And then you blow it out and then it's just like, you're gone then.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it'd be like G-forces, like 0 to...
That's terrifying.
I know, it's scary before you go through it, but on the other side, you're like telling everybody like me, like, this is great.
Yeah.
You know, but I know how, like, I remember especially the first time. And I was alone. It was just like one of those things. I was like, I knew it wasn't going to last a while, but I don't know. I got it and I was excited.
Doesn't it make
I snuck
it feel
off to
like...
my garage and I blasted.
In your garage?
Yeah.
Doesn't it like feel like longer than 15 minutes?
Yeah, you do kind of get lost in that, in a sense. Like it is weird. Again, I've never been really caught up in like this is taking forever aspect because it's like your mind is like switched completely. I'm gonna say complete ego death, but you know what I mean. Your mind kind of flips to like you're not just thinking completely about internal things because like the world's coming at you, I guess.
Yeah.
And then your mind starts to come back to you. And then by that point, you're like, that was incredible. I want to do that again. So I don't know. I've never really had that in that. I've had it with other drugs, mushrooms especially. Like,
yeah,
like this is never ending and this is me now. And I just want 5 minutes off. And you know what I mean? Like I've had that happen to me before. Not with this. Again, I'm not saying that doesn't happen to people. I'm sure it does. I mean, it's the stuff, I mean, fucks you up for sure.
Yeah.
So,
maybe in a few years. I don't think right now is a good time for me to be doing DMT.
Yeah. Well, in the right circumstance, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, but the nice thing about it is the length. You know what I mean?
And the girth.
And the girth. Especially the girth. Yeah. It's just like the businessman's
mushrooms.
Kinda, yeah. Like I think of the vaporizer as like the businessman's high. Like it's not quite the same as smoking flower, or I mean, I'm not really a dab guy. That's like shots, but yeah.
You know, I don't really like dabs either. I mean, I've done them.
Yeah, same. It's just it gets so goddamn fucked up.
Yeah,
it's like oppressive. It becomes oppressive. Like my buddy had one of those pens where you have to like clean it out all the time. Mm-hmm. Big old robot dick.
Yeah.
But man, that shit. But I don't know. I just never. It seemed like a lot of work, and
it's too intense.
Yeah, basically, I was just like
for like no reason.
Yeah, it's like what am I have things to do. I'd like to. Appreciate the businessman side of it way more than the. I have to sit here. Like I don't have that anymore. I'm sure if I was in college and people were dabbing, I would have been dabbing too. You know? Yeah. I was smoking bongs and doing as much as I could because all I do is sit around and not do anything. You know.
Yeah.
But at this point in my life, it's too much to sit around and fucking crank dabs.
All of like the weed from like a dispensary is like the strongest shit ever, kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, it's like
it's hard to find like a strain that's like under like 18% THC.
Yeah.
It's all like in the 20s and 30s now.
I know. You're right. It's getting it dialed in takes a little time. Even if, you know, like the stuff most of the time these days I'm getting a sativa that's in like the mid 20s. But there was a couple times I got some that was like in the 30s.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I was incapacitated, but I was fucking high as hell, you know? And I was like, holy shit. This is too much like for a daytime.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like I'm smoking a lot of the day. I'm not like cranking, you know, it's not like I'm smoking 50 bowls throughout a day.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm taking a drag, you know, around lunchtime probably, or drag or two off a bowl, and then the rest of the day I'll be hitting it throughout, you know. Mm-hmm. So I have a nice continuous buzz, but if it's too oppressive, then it's like I can't just shut down.
Yeah. It is kind of like a shutdown. Like if you get really, really high, you're like, fuck, like, I just gotta go to bed.
I know. That's pretty much happens. I love sleep. Yeah. I end up, or just staring at my phone or something. It's such a waste of time.
Yeah.
But I can't really bring myself to do anything else.
No, I feel you. So what have you been up to these days?
Oh, man.
How was your week this week?
It was all right. Work's like kind of slowing down. We had to lay somebody off. That sucks. Because then I start to worry about, well, it's like I could be doing more. You know what I mean? Like, I try to just, and sometimes it's hard, but I try to focus on what can I do better, you know, in most of these situations.
Yeah.
And it's obvious, like, with that like, I should have been working harder, you know. Would that have saved it? I don't know. But I certainly wasn't putting in as much effort as I should have. So it's struggle because, that just sucks, you know. So that was on me this week. I went to Blast Off open mic on Tuesday. That's always fun. I have a good time. Some people don't like it, and I get it. It's not like it was a great crowd, but she'll let you go 10 minutes or more.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to stretch out like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like comedy-wise, like you might have a bit where you write a bunch of stuff, and then if you're only going to have 4 or 5 minutes, you start cutting stuff out. But there, you know, you can try it all.
Do it all.
Which is cool. Because sometimes you might cut something that actually works, and then you keep something that doesn't or whatever. You know, it's not, by no means is it like, the first one was packed and it was fun, but for the most part, it's pretty dead. You know, there's, I don't know what there was there, like 6, 8 people maybe the other day. But at the end of the day, like I said, I like being able to do 10 minutes, try a bunch of new things, and then see what sticks. It's a great place to try new stuff because it's like, who gives a fuck what these people think? Yeah. And then Comedy Zone on Thursday was lit. It was actually really fun. Thursday? Good crowd. Damn. Yeah, and they were laughing. Dude, it was fun. And there was a lot of people. I went like 18th, and they were still like really into it.
Hell yeah.
So, and it's not always like that. You never know. Yeah. With every open mic, it's really hard, especially once the weather turns warm. You know, like late spring into summer is like definitely can be hit or miss with crowds.
Yeah.
So
people are getting Italian ice and shit.
Yeah. Fucking Rita's ruining the comedy scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't blame them.
Yeah.
There's no cultural experience like a comedy open mic.
No.
Everyone should have to. That should be mandatory experience for everybody.
For everyone.
Yeah. Because like there's nothing wrong with music open mics. It's a great way, but to cut your teeth. But for the most part, it's people playing cover songs, you know, which is not a problem. That's a great way to learn. Yeah. But comedy, we don't have that. You know, you're not doing covers.
Unless you're Carlos Mencia.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But you're
still
covers.
Yeah, you're doing secret covers.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just seeing, especially going to the Comedy Zone, there's such a diverse amount of people. You know what I mean? We have every race, every sexual orientation, everything like covered there. So you get to see in a night, especially some nights, there's 38 people, but you get to see so much about like what's really happening in people's lives. It's not necessarily always funny, but it's certainly eye-opening to be like, wow, either we're going through the same thing and we're totally different. That's what, we're open-minded people, but some people that are super closed-minded that just think, that's I don't know, whatever it is. I don't want to call it your parents, but I don't know if they love gay people. People like your parents that probably would be like, what is this gay person doing? You know what I mean?
What is this gay person? I'm just trying to picture my mom saying that.
What are gay people doing right now?
What is gay?
Or even like they're scared of black people or something like that, Like they wouldn't even. That's what I mean. I didn't mean to imply.
My dad's not. I can't really tell about my mom.
Yeah. Well, if he works in Reading, it's pretty diverse, I would imagine.
He also grew up in a more diverse.
Yeah, that's what has a lot to do with it. Growing up around.
My mom was around a lot of whites.
Yeah. So she might get a little scared if she showed up at Rookies on a Wednesday. Dude, Rookies.
Rookies has uncomfortable Rookies.
Perpetual IPA specials on Wednesday. It's the cheapest. It's almost cheaper than going to Trogs and drinking it.
How much is the IPAs?
$11 for a pitcher, or three.
Fuck. Yeah, that's a lot of.
It's a lot of beer, but I mean, you have for $11.
I know,
that's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Or they're $3.75 for a normal glass, which is, they're $6 normally. So that's a great price. Anyway, I know you're not a drinker, so I won't talk too much about it.
No,
you should come to Rookies sometime. It's fun.
I should come back.
That's the most fun.
There once.
It's not necessarily the best mic always,
but it's like one of the fun.
It's always, I think it's the most fun, in my opinion.
I should come back.
Sometimes it's great. Sometimes, just like any mic, sometimes there's a crowd, sometimes there's not. But we always have fun. So that one I like going to. For a while, I had myself set up.
I'll bring my mom.
That would be so funny.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say I had myself on a good setup for a while there, where I was like, I'd go to Phantom on Monday, and then Rookies on Wednesday, and then Comedy Zone on Thursday, and so like I was hitting 3 different crowds. And it's still 45 minutes to Harrisburg, so it's not like it's close, but it's nice to like at the end of the week being like, hey, this worked, this didn't, but I got to try it 3 times at 3 different, hopeful crowds.
Yeah.
It's not like you're seeing a lot of the same people at those, so.
And they're all like different crowds.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The Comedy Zone crowd is different than the Rookies crowd.
Yeah, you're not going to get the same people, so it's you get it in 1 week. You can.
Yeah.
It's not like we live in New York City where you could do 5 mics in a night and work out a bit, but I don't know.
Do you want to move to New York one day?
I don't see it being feasible. Like, I want to. I'm enamored and want. You know what I mean? There's not a day that goes by where I'm like, man, I wish I was a comedian.
Yeah.
But I mean, realistically, I'm not moving to New York anytime soon. I'm trying to think of like, okay, what's the next logical step for me? What I'm at, I'm not completely entrenched in Central PA or by any stretch, but I at least have my foot in the door now. So now it's like, do I try to go to Philly or Baltimore? Maybe not move, but start trying to be a freak when I'm like down there once in a while. Yeah, like get my foot in the door there. That's kind of where I'm at. I think is like the next step for me. But it takes some plan. If I'm going to go to Philly one night, I can't. I might only go to 1 mic that week or something. You know what I mean? There's a bit of there's logistics to it.
Yeah,
it's not like just like, oh, now I go to Philly 4 nights a week. I wish it was, but it's not. I was thinking about doing Philly's Funniest, but I missed the sign up. I know that's not an open mic, but I mean, it was something to like force me to go down there.
I signed up for that.
You did? Oh, nice.
I had to lie about my address because they're doing like a 20-minute radius from Philly. So I just.
Oh, are they? So I wouldn't have made it either then.
I just lied. I just typed in low income housing in Philly and the first for sale, and then I just put the first one I saw in there.
That's amazing. Oh man. No, I never thought of that. I did say it's like it said local to Philly, but I just like I said, I looked and I was past the date, so I just browsed it a little bit, and it did say local to Philly, but I just took that to mean they considered Lancaster local enough.
That's what
because they must have in the last couple years, right?
Since I didn't do it last year because I was in rehab, but the year before I did it, and like I didn't have to lie about my address, so
right.
They're cutting back. I think.
They get so many entries now.
Yeah.
They can't do them all. Yeah.
I told my mom, I was like, I lied about my address, and she was like, Tyler, you can't lie.
Oh boy.
I was like, I got in, so
32 Hail Marys.
Yeah.
What
we weren't Catholic though, so we didn't do Hail Marys.
Oh, you were Catholic?
No, we weren't. Oh, you
Catholic. Weren't? Okay.
We can just talk to the Lord. Just be like, yo,
you don't even have to go to church.
God, sorry, I lied about my address for the Phillies Funniest.
If you let me win, I'll never lie again.
I'll never lie again.
That's cool. Does he ever grant any wishes? Like Genie
I don't
Jesus?
Think so.
Judge Genie Jesus?
Judge Genie Jesus. You have to like rub his lamp from the come onto the stand.
His lamp is like a candle that I went to church and it must have been Catholic, but my buddy
my best friend, you were raised Catholic. I don't know.
No. Like I said, my grandparents were very religious, whatever, but at least from what I understand, I don't know enough about Catholic, but I don't think Catholics are very outwardly spoken about religion, at least as much as some of the other religions, Christian religions. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily their whole identity.
Yeah.
It's they kind of do it in private, and it's not like they're not lying about their stuff. But they're at church every Sunday. They're not
the ones putting out those Jesus ads.
No.
Catholics.
Yeah. They don't give a shit. No. But yeah. So that my grandparents never once said anything to me about church or my Jewish grandma, like she would bring it up once in a while, but I got no push from other sides. But my best friend when I was a little kid, like he lived 2 doors up, he was Catholic. So I went a couple Saturdays, I can remember I would go to dinner with them and then we would go to church and then I'd stay over at his house. The only thing I really remember is like I was in elementary school. I wasn't like first grade, but I might have been 4th, 5th grade. I just remember I wasn't allowed to go up because I wasn't baptized. That's the only thing that really sticks in my mind was like me just sitting there by myself for a big line form. And I was like, it's a pretty big church. It's St. Mary's in downtown Lancaster. It's a pretty, I think it's called St. Mary's. It's like not far off the square near Telus and whatnot. Anyway, that was what sticks out the most. I was curious about it because people would talk about it as a kid, but I wasn't that curious about it. Like I said, it was just like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I picked up pieces of it, but I never really
put together the puzzle.
Yeah, a good friend of mine who is like an outspoken atheist, which doesn't matter, but he became born again. Now this was almost 20 years ago now, probably at least 15 years ago. Like we were probably out of college, I think, maybe in college, out of college. But he became born again, and then it was just like the most annoying. I lived with him at the time.
Yeah.
And Jesus, wouldn't you know, they're so over the top. It's just like a lot of people, when they become something new, they're just like proselytizing. But it was so terrible to like live with this because everything had to be related to him and his faith and how we were. Like I was dating my wife at the time. We weren't married yet, and he was like, "Well, have you ever thought about the Lord in your relationship and stuff like that?"
Yeah,
like we're doing dishes in our scuzzhole apartment. It's just like, are you serious right now, dude?
Like, how would you do these dishes in a Christ-like
way?
Right.
Oh my gosh, it was brutal, and I don't take it out on him. Like, and he's great now, but. And he wasn't, it wasn't like I disliked him then, but that was such an annoying aspect of my life for a little while.
Yeah.
That I wasn't going to go, but it was like after even if there was 1% chance of me going to church now that you've been born again, there's a 0.
Yeah.
Because you're so annoying about it.
Born again people are pretty annoying about it.
Yeah. Come to find out, my grandfather was born again. Born again. Boing.
He was boining again.
Boinked again.
He was very fat.
So he might have been that annoying asshole. So I shouldn't talk about it because I love my grandfather. So it happens. But
I love my grandfather too. They're both dead though.
Are they?
Push me to the edge. All my grandpa's dead.
Both of mine are too. Now you say that. My dad's dad died before I was born, or maybe I was like 1 or 2. I never even knew him. Mm-hmm. Anyway, if there's any message to this podcast, it's don't be born again. Either stick with it or don't.
Or become just like a silent Catholic.
Yeah, right. There you go. Silent Catholic. That's what I'm liking.
Yeah.
I can handle that.
We did just hit an hour.
Did we? Why don't we, before I have to get a divorce over this, why don't we...
You're not going to you didn't say anything bad about your wife.
I know.
Oh, because you're going to be late?
Okay, well, they're running behind anyway, so it's a beautiful thing. I didn't want to rush. Like I said, my wife is a saint about this comedy stuff. And there's times I get frustrated by things, and I sure as hell know she does.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, something like Phantom Power, being able to go down after the kids go to bed, that is such a beautiful thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, having that, like, outlet to do that. The blast off is nice because I can get over there and get a set in, and then I'm home at least before the oldest goes to bed. You know what I mean? So it's like still trying to fit that stuff in. But
well, it's nice to have like a partner that like chill with that stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to say she gets it, but she is cool. Now, when like when we met, I was playing drums, though I wasn't in a band per se, or like the band got more serious as I was in it. So, but she did go through that where I was like doing a lot of music and stuff. But obviously with everything, the kids make it harder. A, because I do want to be with them. B, it's like I know how hard it is to just be like, hey, take care of both of these kids.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. You know what I mean? They're little kids. They're dependent on you for things. So you're busy constantly. It sucks. So that being said, there's like times where it gets frustrating, you know, and I think I deserve my own way.
Yeah.
Which is probably my religion of being a selfish baby.
Hey, everyone's a selfish baby.
One day I'll be born again.
Born again, selfish babies.
Born again, selfish baby.
That's like nice though. Like I don't know, the people that I've dated, I feel like weren't that cool about going out at night.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of why I've like not found like a relationship.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like hard to find one anyway, I guess, but definitely like you have to be with. It's obviously important to you.
Yeah.
And if they don't understand that and they think it's just some little game that you're playing, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, you could probably define comedy for me as a hobby, but in my head, it's just like the job I don't get paid for. You know what I mean? Not that I put in that much time, but I put up that much like mental effort to one. But not even writing some, but more just like dreaming about like, oh man, listen to somebody's like I'll listen to whoever Bill Burr's podcast. Like, God damn, this guy's life is amazing. Yeah, you know. Or Stavi, you listen to Stavi's podcast?
Not really.
Dude, he's so funny.
I liked Come Town.
Yeah, I never. My buddies told me about that, but I never really checked it out.
Come Town's funny.
I'm sure it's hilarious because I've seen Nick Mullen's stuff and he's funny and Stavi's so funny. So anyway, like I said, in my head, I'm much farther along and I dream about it for sure. So, but then like reality comes crashing back in. Like I said, I'm not just going to get up and move to New York City. So that doesn't mean you can't do comedy stuff. I look at stuff like I learned it when I was doing music. Like in your head, you think, oh, someone that is a musician, well, they're a rock star, you know? But like 1% of musicians are rock stars. The average person that calls themselves, that makes their living as a musician, teaches, does gigs or runs open mics or does whatever. So, that's really what would technically be the goal, even though in your head you want to be the, For you, you want to be the Weekend, right? Or whatever. If you were a musician.
If I was a musician.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. But for every one of him, there's 99,999 million, you know, whatever. Yeah. The people that make a honest living doing it by teaching and doing cover bands, and, you know, they're not playing in original bands touring, you know, with the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
It's the same with comedy. A guy like Jay Yoder, that's how you become a professional comedian. If your calendar is full every fucking day and you're getting paid to do those gigs, that's how you can make the leap into being a professional. Then you hope to build it and become. But he's building like the perfect foundation of how you, at least for a guy my age, how it would be done.
I don't know how he does that.
I don't know either. I don't. He's done more shows in a week than I've done total. He started like the same week I did too, because I think Soul Joel's opened up apparently the same week Phantom Power did. Open mic. They were doing their outside thing, and I think that was his first open mic. Wow. And he's like, you know, light years beyond. So
he is Buzz Lightyear.
He's committed to it. So anyway, that's a much more realistic idea of it. That being said, I want to be
bigger than Jay Yoder.
Yeah, not weight, but no, I just mean like I dream of being that guy that's like the biggest name in comedy, and everyone thinks you're brilliant.
Yeah,
that's not the dream for me. Isn't just like being a regular comedian, but it's an actual. That's how, like, realistically how it would happen.
For my dream is to be like a regular comedian. My dream is to be like.
Make
Joe List.
65,000 a year.
Joe List.
He probably makes good living. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Joe List is way different. Like, he's touring, doing his own club shows now, headlining. Jay's not at that point. He could work his way up, but I mean, Jay still is making I mean, it's not about the money, but I just mean, like, if you were going to be an adult and you're living as comedy, if you could live here till you're 50 and you just like tour around in your car, you could make it doing, you know.
What if I was like,
so I'm just saying, like, you're doing shows making $40 a night, like, you could, but once you have your own place and some other responsibilities, then you got to at least make a little bread.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I got to move out.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, if I could be Dave Attell, that would be perfect. Like, he's not the most famous comedian, but for me, you know what I mean? And whoever your favorite comedian is the same way, but like, he's just so brilliant. Like, I want to be the funniest, but I also would, like, you know, what that brings along is like a career where you're like, I don't need a big house or anything, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't want another job. You know, like, where comedy is your only job.
That would be amazing.
That would be the goal.
But
that's what I'm saying. The path of Jay Yoder is much more attainable than the path for me. For you, why not move to New York City? I mean, obviously you need a job.
True.
Or Philly.
About Austin, maybe.
Austin. I mean, a city, any city, big city, like Philadelphia wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
You know, to get your foot in the door. It worked for Shane Gillis.
Yeah. I like Philly, but like, I don't want to live in Philly.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be Philly. I'm just saying, you know, it doesn't necessarily.
Hotter.
Yeah. I'm sure Austin's the big dog right now. And New York and LA, those are the big dogs.
It's way cheaper to move to Austin than New York, which is my thinking.
Yeah. I think it's going up.
Yeah. But inflation.
Yeah. Gentrification.
Joe
Rogan. Next you'll be smoking DMT with Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he's making all the fucking prices rise up.
Yeah, he is.
This DMT smoke.
Once it's legal there, I'll move.
DMT?
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be legal in Texas for a long time.
No, probably not. That was just.
They are legalizing
mushrooms in like Oakland and Denver and stuff.
That's
and ketamine.
I've never done ketamine.
That's an interesting one.
Have you tried it?
So when I was in college, just running around with people, but the dude was dealing ecstasy and ketamine. So he would get it from the vet in a little vial and then microwave it. And it comes out this like pink powder.
You get it from the vet?
He was getting it from the vet, some vet where he would pay.
This
was, now you're talking in like 2001. So like, not that it wasn't around, but the heat on it now for a vet, would be way harder probably to get by than it was then. But yeah, he would get a box, and then he was selling it mainly, but we would do it for free. $12 ecstasy pills, which was a fucking bargain. Promise you that. Wow. He's selling for $20. We get street price at $12. Those were the days, man, in college. Yeah. It's hard to explain it. Ketamine, like, it feels like your brain's like, I know no one can see this, but like, it feels like your brain's out here. And your body's kind of separated from it. It's like disassociates you from your body. If that makes sense. You're
like looking at yourself.
Kind of feels like you're
third person.
Almost in a way. Like you feel like, you feel like yourself, but at the same time, it feels like your body's being automated.
I don't know if I would like that. I think I already do that enough.
Maybe.
Disassociate.
Yeah, it's not the same as like it's more of it's something you would do like while you're doing something else, I think, having a little bit, but like doing it on its own. Some people do, I'm sure, but for me, it's not really the beef of the matter.
Yeah.
But if you were on ecstasy and someone's like, hey, you want to do a little K? Then you're like, all right. Those are the days, buddy.
Before I die, I do want to try MDMA.
The hard part is getting real stuff.
Yeah. You can buy a testing kit. Right?
Yeah. It sounds silly, but like, yeah. When I was like back then in college, when I was doing a lot of that stuff, it was like, you didn't really have to worry about it. I'm sure a little bit, but it wasn't the same. You know what I mean? You trusted the person that got it, and like real ecstasy pills and not just like pressed meth.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I feel like back in the day, like you could trust your like drug dealer more.
Yeah. Well, they don't know. I mean,
maybe that's what Trump meant when he said "Make America Great Again."
Right.
Like,
damn it, he was all right all along.
Back in my day, we trusted our Molly dealers. Yeah. We want to get fentanyl in our shit.
This is bullshit. Damn, that's what he's running on 2024.
Is he actually running?
Yeah. He's running.
Ah, fuck,
dude. I
stopped watching the news after I got out of rehab.
Yeah, good for you. You're not missing anything. I stopped watching too, but it's a mess. But I'm pretty sure Biden said he's running. The only hope for Democrats, and this is obviously my completely non-expert opinion, is that DeSantis runs at the Florida guy. He's a governor of Florida, and the Republicans nominate him, and then Trump's so mad he runs as an independent and kind of sabotages DeSantis.
Like, and then the Democrat win.
And then the Democrat will win, which would be Biden. They're talking about running. Biden said he's going to do it.
Damn, how old is he? Like 80?
I think he's 82 right now.
82.
Dude, so he's completely unfit. Like, it's sad.
87 by the time he's done if he wins.
Yeah. He might be 88. Maybe it's 87, 88, depending on. If he's 82, you're right, yeah.
Damn.
It's a sad state of affairs, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Like, we have a fucking dementia.
Retard.
Trump's the retard, and
two retards and
a geriatric, like this way, Grandpa. Sure, Grandpa.
Do you
eat
think,
your soup? Like it's just nuts. It's how does it get to this point where those are the people we have to choose from?
I don't know. That's everything's bought and paid for.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A much deeper issue. But
do you think he's gonna pick Pence again after he threw him under the bus?
No, I think he'll try to pick. The Republicans' dream is a black
vice president.
Like a black female candidate, especially, I think, because that's like there's, they get the knock from not being as diverse, which they're not. Mm-hmm. So they cream their pants over that idea. So I think they'll try to find either a man or woman that's black for him to run with. As VP, like I said, unless DeSantis goes and wins the nomination, then they still may try to do that. But then I don't know. Trump would be an independent, and then he's on his own. Knowing him, he'd pick fucking, Vince McMahon or something He's such a fucking psychopath that he's just going to pick someone that's going to say yes to whatever he says.
You think Ben Carson would say yes?
Ben Carson probably would suck his dick to get to that spot. That being said, I think that whoever wins a Republican nomination, then, Ben Carson would be. But if Trump has to go independent, I think all bets are off.
Yeah.
somebody sent me this clip of him, like, someone's like, you said, blah, 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 and stars can grab him by the pussy. And then it's like a deposition of him talking about it. It's like, well, I find that to be true. It was amazing.
Yeah.
He's like, well, and they're like, are you saying stars can do it? He's like, well, in the last million years, say it's right, say it's wrong, but that's what stars have been doing. He's just like, you gotta give him credit for the balls he has. He's a fucking, he's
funny.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, he's a menace to society, but
yeah,
like he is so megalomaniac. Like,
he's like the video game Bully. Remember that video game? Rockstar Games. Same people that made GTA.
Yeah, I remember that.
Just for this like asshole kid who goes to like a boarding school and like beats the shit out of everyone. But he's kind of funny. That's kind of what Trump is.
That's great. Yeah, that's exactly what he is. It's what he is.
Like,
he's
everyone hates him in the school, but like he gets like good grades because he like cheats on the tests. That's kind of what Trump is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know shit about politics.
I don't know him that much. I lean because it's mainly the Christianity aspect of Republicans that's what turns me off. Yeah, I'm not against all their stuff, but I don't think
fucking Christian Republicans.
Yeah, there's that. It's such a fucking ruse of them using it to their advantage.
Yeah,
and just raping and pillaging, and then there's the idea that it should rule the land. That has in my normal person opinion that has the Bible should have nothing to do with daily governing.
Yeah,
you can be religious all you want, but I shouldn't have to be religious too. It doesn't make any sense. So that's what a free country is. So that's what turns me off about that party. It's not like I disagree with every idea they've ever had, but
yeah, even in the Bible it says like give to Caesar like what is Caesar's, which is like basically like live your life for God, but like don't
try to
expect other people to do the same shit. Right. I feel like
well that's
the way I interpreted it.
Well, there's so many parts that they've taken and used for their own meaning. You know what I mean? Because Jesus wasn't rich.
Hated the gays, and he loved rich people.
That's all he cared about.
He loved white rich people exclusively.
Yeah, who doesn't? Oh man, no. As long as white rich people continue on as the master race, we'll be fine. Jesus, that's what Jesus
I feel like that's kind of what my brother believes, low key.
In a white Jesus.
Yeah, he definitely believes in white Jesus.
White Judge Genie Jesus. White Judge,
Judge.
So you think like
executioner.
If like, I know it's impossible to make this happen, but if like the actual Jesus, who's like the Jewish, caveman looking dude that he would have actually been, walked in and said, I'm Jesus, you think your brother would be like, this is...
He'd probably be really disappointed.
Yeah.
Or he wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You'd be like, what?
Like, nah.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Why aren't your eyes blue?
You're right. Where's that luscious long hair I've come to know and love?
It's like, I feel like Hitler believed in like a white Jesus.
No, definitely. There's been, like, you want to see yourself in them, and like he was made in your image, or you were made in his image, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But then you start to like dilute the facts and change the facts, and it's like, well, if you want to say Jesus is real, that's fine, but then he was a Jew from the year, 30 BC or whatever. So what did Jews in the Middle East look like? You know what I mean? It's just
I know. I've seen the photos of the historically accurate Jesus.
It's like a
fucking... I'm cool however he looks.
Yeah, that's
what he could be purple. I don't give a fuck.
You're so progressive.
Here's a purple Jew from Israel.
The Purple Hoodie Podcast. You should change it in honor of Jesus. The Purple Jesus. He's like the Hamburglar. Or no, what's
Grimace.
it? Grimace, right? Not the Hamburglar. All right.
That's funny. Do you want to end on that Grimace?
Yeah, let's do it.
What is it? Oh, 120. Wow.
Perfect.
That's pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Matt.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
My hand's asleep.
That's all right.
I gotta piss sitting on it. No, I haven't.
All right.
So I can masturbate later. No. Do you have any shows coming up?
I'm on Shit in a Hat on May 17th.
May 17th.
Which
will be up by then.
Oh, good. So I'll be there. That's it. I got to try to get some more in the old calorie now.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
I don't have a show until June.
Oh, that's cool. At least you got something on the calendar, though. Something to look forward to.
You have something on the calendar?
I know. It's just a little different, you know.
True.
Not that I'm not excited. I'm stoked to be on it. It's
what
just
day is that? The 7th?
May 17th, Wednesday
May 17th.
at the Comedy Zone.
Come out to Boomerangs on May 17th to see Matt Blank perform.
Starring.
Improvised comedy.
Writing
I'll probably
4 to 6 topics worth of commentary. Now, they're always fun. I usually, I'm not on them most of the time. I've been on a couple, but I would go hit rookies, get time in there, and then shoot down and catch the end and shit in the hat. It's only like 10 minutes apart. But,
really?
Yeah, they're close. It's like 10 or 12 minutes. Anyway, I won't be doing that because I'm on the show. Don't miss it.
Hell yeah.
All right, love you, bud.
I'll be there. Love you, Matt.
All right,
later. I'll put your fucking Instagram handle in the
at Richard.awesome.
At Richard Awesome. Okay.
All right, love you, bud.
Thank you for listening. Love you too.